Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
EOJ to pay St. Mary workers by Friday. ASP Christopher Phillips moves from Area 5. And later in sports, Arnett Gardens continue recent resurgence in JPL standings.
Now the details. The most wanted individual in the Area 4 Police Division has been captured. He has been identified as Courtney Ashley, also known as Bloodstain, from Marvelly in St. Andrew. Assistant Commissioner of Police Michael Phipps, who heads Area 4, says Bloodstain is alleged to be the leader of the gang operating in Bottom Marvelly.
He was captured around 7:20 last evening. He was held in the Phoenix Park Village 2 community of Portmore, St. Catherine. He was actually held in the company of a female and another Irish target from the SAS division. Ashley is wanted for murders in the St. Andrew South division and is linked to several other serious crimes across the corporate area. We will be looking at the possibility of prosecuting the female for harboring a fugitive.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Michael Phillips is also issuing a stern warning to anyone harboring wanted persons on their premises. He's also emphasizing that such actions will not be tolerated and could result in several legal consequences.
Ashley, when accosted, surrendered peacefully to the police. Hence, there were no need for any resort to the use of force. Therefore, I would like to use this medium to implore other wanted persons and high-risk targets not to use any force against the security forces when they are being accosted.
The EOJ is coming under fire for the non-payment of some persons involved in the training of Election Day workers last year. Details in this report. TVJ News understands that at least 6 trainers who were engaged as early as February 2025 have not received payments despite completing all assigned duties and required paperwork. The trainers, who are from St. Mary, in a letter to TVJ, noted that delays initially expected alongside payments to regular Election Day workers have stretched through Hurricane Melissa and the Christmas period. The document further stated that to date, there's been no resolution. Workers say the continued delay undermines confidence in the electoral process. They're urging the Electoral Office of Jamaica to act immediately. When contacted, Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says the EOJ is in receipt of the documents submitted by the workers and they will be paid no later than Friday. ACP Christopher Phillips has been transferred from Area 5 to the Area 3 Police Division. ACP Howard Chambers will succeed Mr. Phillips, as the new head of Area 5. The announcement was made earlier today at the Area 5 headquarters in St. Catherine during a praise and worship service.
It isn't about me moving on. It's about you staying on course. You are the crew of Area 5 and greatness is your destination. But I must tell you, nothing great is created suddenly. One of the most common prayers I pray for others is this: Lord, please send small opportunities across their paths to do what you've called them to do. When we're faithful in those small opportunities, God says, you have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities.
Police in St. Anne are investigating a series of armed robberies over the weekend. In Sturgetown, a businessman and a woman were robbed at their home. The men stole cash, bank cards, and forced them to give their PIN numbers, withdrawing over $2 million. In Shaw Park, Ochreas, two masked men held a security guard at gunpoint and took a tablet, laptop, and a bank card. The men also forced the guard to help rob another guard of his phones before fleeing. Police say two investigations into both incidents are ongoing. The St. Thomas Police Division says it has already recorded one murder for 2026. Speaking at a recent municipal meeting, head of the St. Thomas Police Division, Superintendent Michael Campbell, admitted that the division did not achieve its desired results for 2025. Murder reduction, he says, was a major focus during the year, with most fatal incidents resulting from direct police confrontations. Police also reported significant operational gains, including the seizure of illegal firearms.
The issue as it relates to rape that is plaguing us, 105% clear. And the reason for this is that a number of the accused persons are known by the victim. So it is somewhat easier to clear that, but it is something that concerns us. Even the court cases that we have before the court, a number of them are sexual-related offenses.
And the police are reporting success.
So we have confiscated 18 weapons, comparing to 4 for 2024, which represents 350%. Also, there's a significant increase in the number of ammunition as well, 290% increase in ammunition seizure.
Still in St. Thomas, residents of New Land Road in Yala St. Thomas are calling on their political representative to address a long-standing issue in their community. They describe the condition of the main thoroughfare as deplorable, noting that promises to fix it has fallen on deaf ears.
About New Land Road, where we councillor there, where we MP there, right? Then can't come fix the road. The rain fall away there, and now you can see pothole on the road. The rain wash down everything come on Mr. Blackway. Right on Mr. Blackway, the rain wash down everything come down.
You know, along the road, see some water commission come dig up the road and have it so then fix it back and no. And a new year, this same way so it's here and in front of my business place. But I like it to fix.
A major cleanup program is set to begin soon in areas worst affected by Hurricane Melissa. State Minister in the Ministry of Local Government, Delroy Williams, made the announcement at the National Leadership Prayer Service in St. James. Antonia Atkinson reports.
2 months and counting. That's how long ago Hurricane Melissa devastated parts of the country, yet scenes like these remain in several communities impacted by the storm. Debris from falling trees has yet to be cleared, and in many instances, residents have been doing the heavy lifting themselves. While acknowledging the delays, State Minister in the Ministry of Local Government, Delroy Williams, says a major cleanup exercise will be launched in the coming weeks aimed at clearing debris, restoring affected communities, and supporting national recovery efforts.
Whenever we have disasters like these, it's always very important to get to the nerve center first. Because the nerve center is the center of business and commerce and center of employment. Always have to get the center up and running first in order to maintain and in order to reduce the negative impact and in order to as quickly as possible rid ourselves of the lingering negative effects of Hurricane Melissa.
He further adds that through this initiative, rebuilding the infrastructure of community life is critical. While national recovery remains important, he emphasizes that day-to-day business and local infrastructure are equally vital.
So in spite of the disaster, if we're going to continue and to minimize the negative effects on our economy, as a ministry, as a people, we have to continue to ensure that the regular business of the day, the regular building of our infrastructure, the regular building and rebuilding and repairing of our markets and community life, interest, and community infrastructure. That's not here. We can't stall that, because if we do, then we are going to stall the recovery.
The cleanup program is expected to prioritize communities most severely affected as the authorities continue to appeal for patience and cooperation from the public. Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
In the meantime, the National Solid Waste Management Authority has received $1 billion from the government to begin clearing debris left behind by Hurricane Melissa. Executive Director Audley Gordon says the funding is in addition to $500 million previously allocated, bringing the total government commitment to over $1.5 billion. A debris management committee has also been established to oversee operations. So far, 27,000 truckloads of debris have been cleared. The Christmas season has passed, but the St. James Municipal Corporation is exploring additional measures to give vendors in the parish more time to conduct business. Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, says extended hours are usually given for them to operate for 5 days during Grand Market, but the added hours remain in place for 1 month. This is to help vendors recover following Hurricane Melissa.
There is a large projection of cash flow within the space, almost $400 million, some $388 million that we have seen from the investigation done. And when we interacted with them, they are saying that the extended days, the 28 days, is significantly more profitable for them than the 5 days that they would normally get.
He says the municipality, along with the relevant authorities, are now considering night vending. This is to create more opportunities and boost income for local vendors.
At the night vending as an opportunity for those who actually make most of their revenue in the after 7 belts. And then we will look at the area and see how best we can facilitate them within that space. Of course, during that time, most of the business operators, they would close shops by that time, and they would actually serve a population that is coming from the hotel industry, persons who are leaving work late and persons who are operating within the space in the later hours of the day. So night vending, we continue to look at it strategically.
So far, 60% of vendors in the parish say they have bounced back following the extended Grand Market hours. The mayor says this is showing signs of recovery and resilience. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back. Continuing the news. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica is reporting a significant increase in the assets of the country's building societies, rising to $230 billion at the end of October last year, up from $207 billion over the same period a year earlier. The central bank says the growth was driven mainly by an expansion in mortgage lending, which climbed to $116 billion, compared with $113 billion the previous year. Other loans also recorded a sharp increase, moving up to $29 billion from $22 billion year on year. In addition, the building society significantly increased their holdings of Government of Jamaica securities, which rose to $13 billion compared with $6.8 billion the year before. Further afield, Meta is set to trim its workforce. The tech giant says it plans to lay off roughly 10% in the Reality Labs division. This move comes as Meta is focusing more attention to creating next-generation artificial intelligence. Meta has nearly 80,000 employees overall, and these cuts will disproportionately affect those who are in the Metaverse unit. The job cuts could be made official as early as Tuesday. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Anthony Atkinson.
Thank you, Antonia. Now it's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Grenada's main opposition New National Party NNP is calling for urgent action after the US banned fish imports from the island on January 1st. The ban, linked to unmet US marine mammal protection requirements, has hit a more than $50 million Eastern Caribbean dollar industry, with the NNP warning that delays are deepening hardship for fishermen and their families. And on the international scene, the Justice Department is investigating the Federal Reserve's $2.5 billion renovation of its Washington headquarters. Prosecutors are reviewing the testimony by Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who denies misleading Congress and says the scrutiny is tied to policy disputes with President Donald Trump over interest rates. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aaliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Alia. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.